Hi, this is Shannon from ClearPath, and today I'm going to do a quick demo of how to do a diagnosis in ClearPath 3.0. To access the application, I'm going to click on my Safari link, and in previous videos I've shown you how to create a favorite, so I'm going to go to my favorite by clicking in the URL box and selecting the icon at the bottom that says DLCS ClearPath Scope 3.0, and it brings me to my login screen. From here, I'm going to input my username and password. And then I'm going to click Login. Okay, once we log into ClearPath 3.0, it immediately takes you to your unprocessed cases list. If I select the hamburger, you can see all the different scenarios of the menu that we have available. This video is going to go through how to complete a diagnosis in ClearPath. Previous videos have shown us how to do the navigation generally throughout ClearPath and also how to navigate an image that is associated with a case. Okay, for this demo, I'm going to click on Test Patient for my case. It brings me to the overview of the case that I can see all of the patient demographic data and the specimen data. We went through this in the last video, so I'm just going to now select the slide image that I want to view, A01L01. Okay, this brings me to the slide image. After I have gone through and reviewed the slide and taken my measurements, assessed the diagnosis, I'm going to click on the Diagnose button. It's the green button on the right-hand side. From here, you'll have access to a list of diagnoses that is associated with your account. These diagnoses were loaded during the process of setup for you as an account user with ClearPath. If I have the diagnosis in my list that I'd like to use, I just select that diagnosis. In this case, I'm going to select actinic keratosis, and up will populate several boxes that can be improved upon or just used as is. Right now, the diagnosis text is listed as actinic keratosis, and that's what would be placed into our results report. If I wanted to update this, I could. And then I could also add microtext if I would like. Additionally, a note can be provided onto the report, and this note would be specific to the diagnosis that would populate in the diagnosis report. Okay, once I'm complete with filling out all my diagnosis information, I would click OK. From there, you'll see that actinic keratosis with morpheum features, the diagnosis that I had entered onto into the square box, is now showing on the screen. If I'm not comfortable with that diagnosis, I can delete it and add a new one. If I realize that I spelled something wrong, I can click Edit Diagnosis and modify the text. And I can click OK. All right, so in order to confirm that everything that I typed in is exactly how I want it on the report, I can use the icon that looks like an eye next to the diagnosis actinic keratosis. So if I click on that eye, it's going to open up the report in a second tab in my web page. So I'm going to click on the eye now, and you'll see that a second tab opened. Now, if you have a customized report, it'll have all of your customized components that'll appear, and you'll see this exactly as it would as if you were ready to sign out this report. So it has all the patient data, the case data, and as we scroll down, you'll see it has the clinical data and specimen site information, as well as the gross information and the microscopic description. In there will be populated what was in that second box during the diagnosis process. And then we have the diagnosis area, which has the actinic keratosis diagnosis text that we had populated and the note that we had put in when we were completing the diagnosis. Now, if I scroll back up to the top, well, first I'll scroll to the bottom and you'll see it says not final. The reason it says not final is because I have not signed this case out. This is just a preview of what the case results report would look like if I wanted to make sure it was complete. So then if you scroll up to the top, you can hit the X button and it'll remove the diagnosis report and take you back to ClearPath. All right, so once you've confirmed that your diagnosis is correct, if you hit the complete button, it will immediately load the next case in your queue. Okay, so now we have the next patient case. I'm not going to diagnose this case yet because I'm going to show you the sign out process for that case we just finished. So if I open up my menu bar, you'll see that now I can go to sign out. And once I click on sign out, you'll see that the case that I just completed diagnosing is in my sign out queue. Now this allows you to have one last look at the case before you determine that you want to have it signed out and complete, or before you print the final report. If you want to preview the case, again, you click on the I and it'll give you the not final version that you can preview. I'm going to exit out of that. Now if you hit the, if you select the record and it highlights in blue, you can hit the button apply and it will sign out the case without printing it. And this is in the case of if you have an integration point with your EMR system, or if you want somebody in your office to print out your reports later. Likewise, if you realize that this diagnosis is not complete and you actually want to redo something, you hit the button to drop down the box and you can return it to the unprocessed queue. So you have two options, return to unprocessed queue or sign out. Now if you hit the printer icon on the right hand side, it will simultaneously sign out the report and open it up in another tab on your web browser so that you can print it from there. All right, I'm going to hit the print button so that you can see it print out. And there you go. So now just a note, if you had a signature on file, the digital signature would appear where it says no signature today. And if you wanted to print this out directly from your iPad, you could. The way to do that is to use your AirPrint capability, assuming you have an AirPrint printer available. To do that, you would select the box with the arrow at the top and find your printer, find the print button here, select print, and then select your printer, and then hit the print button at the top, which I'm not going to do today. So that's how you print a report from ClearPath. This time I'm going to exit out of the report so that we get back into ClearPath. And now that the case is signed out, it'll appear in my case search and report printing queue. So I'm going to select that queue. And this queue is always available to you, and it has every case that has been signed out in it. Now, if you wanted to review some of the case specimen details, you just click on the hyperlink for the case, and it'll bring you there, but it will not allow you to do anything because it's already a signed out case. And you can see that the specimen status is set to sign out complete. If you go back, you can see that you can print the report again if needed, and it has just high-level information. You can also use all of your search and filter criteria that we had gone through previously in this same queue. So that was a quick demo of how to do a diagnosis from a standard perspective. Next, I'm going to create a video on how to do a diagnosis if you don't find the diagnosis that you're looking for in your list. Thanks for watching.